Oh my gosh, yes, I know. Finally, I'm taking you all to the Kingland September yearling sale. I know it's January now. This happened back in September. I knew I was going to be really busy during the sales, and so this was going to be a delayed video. I did not expect it to be this delayed though, because honestly, the more I thought about it, I was like, ugh, I don't want to edit this. And so that was part of the reason it got pushed back. Like the whole thought of just editing everything together, I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. I'm not looking forward to it. But then to add insult to injury, when I did finally sit down to start editing things, I realized I don't know if it was like a technical issue because I was having issues with my phone, or if I just accidentally deleted it. But there's definitely several videos I know for a fact I sat down and recorded them in my truck for you all, and they're gone. And so I'm like, dang it. And so I had to re-record a couple little bbits and pieces. Anyway, so this video taking you all to the sale. There was a few times that like I'm gonna have to sit down and talk through a couple things just to kind of break down what's about to happen. It won't be too much. Some of it will be voiceover, and some of it will just be me letting you all listen to the sounds of everything. I was originally planning on doing a separate video of like just kind of a wrap up talking about the expectations and everything, but I think I'm going to be able to squeeze it into this video. It just might be a little bit longer than I was initially planning, but I figured that would just be easier considering I'm already so far behind. And I don't know. I figured I was like, well, I'll talk about it anyway because it's going to coincide with the prices anyway, so it'll just be a whole thing. Anyway, so very first part of this is just me moving in and getting ready and just all that stuff. But let me finally take you all to the Kingland September yearling sale.
What you doing? What you doing? Yeah, my little snotty nose boy. My little snotty nose boy.
628, ready to go.
Oh, oh. Oh. Oh, Mama, you're almost done. You're doing so good. Goodness. Oh, how rude. I don't have a shovel either.
Sí, el escote es un gallo número uno. Y el otro que
So the first kid we took through the ring is this Tappet colt. And originally, when I priced him, I had said he was probably going to go somewhere in the 150 to 200 range. He is a big, attractive colt, but he's definitely too big for some people. But that was before x-rays and everything. So this kid actually had quite a few little things here and there on x-rays. Nothing that was necessarily detrimental, but when you have so many horses at a sale like this, and you need to be able to narrow down your list and things of that nature, if a horse gives you a reason why they should be off the list, like, x-rays or something, that would be a reason. So that being said, my original guess for him was actually going to be way off because of the x-rays. The owner had already had his pick at the litter that he was keeping for racing. And so if I remember correctly, they set the reserve at 50. And you're going to see here in a little bit that there was like a little bit of a confusion up in the front ring. So technically, he didn't sell in the ring. However, literally on the way back to the barn, somebody reached out and offered the amount that what we were thinking for the horse. And so he did end up selling privately.
You got to be 50. Thank you. Ralph, 45,000. Thank you both.
Hip number 556, consigned by Paramount Sales Agent, a chestnut filly by Speightstown out of Pianist.
This was the Gunrunner filly. I guessed that she was going to sell anywhere between 500,000 to $1 million. Yes, that is a really big jump, but it definitely kind of depended on, like, was the sister going to run before the sale? Because if the sister won and broke her maiden first time out, that would definitely improve her potential sale price. Gunrunner's really popular, and I just knew that there was a lot of people who would be like, this was their type of filly, right? And overall, she was very well balanced, just absolutely lovely individual. She was very, very popular throughout the sale. She did end up selling, and before I leave to let you just listen to the rambling, yes, the handler was definitely a little firm on her. She was being an absolute bully. Like, she was being, I mean, you can kind of see it. She's not necessarily giving him an easy job. So don't come for his handling abilities. These guys deal with some really tough horses sometimes, and she was just kind of being a bit of a bully. Not that you can really blame them. It is kind of a lot to take in when they get into this ring sometimes.
Hit 450, 75, 75, 450, 75, 75, 450, 75. No, you're still out the back. 450 on route, 75, 75, 450 down, 75, 75, 450, 75, ball through, 75, 475, 500. I got Roger. I'm sorry, missed you. Sorry. Want to get 500? Sure. 500, 475, 525. Now you're in. 525, 500. You're never going to 25, 25. Hit 525. 500. You're now 50, 550. Hit 525, 550, 525, 50. Where 525, 50, 75, 575, 575, 600, 575. You're never going to 60. You're nearly 600, 575. All through 600. And now 25. You're out back 25, 50. Now 50, 625. You're never going to 50. You're never going to 50, 625, 50. Hit 625 now 50, 50. Now 50, 50. You're never going to 50. No, I got 60 on EC this time. You won that one. 650, 75. 650, you're out. 650, 75. 650, no, 75, 75. 650, 75. 650, no, 75, 75. 650, 75. 650, number 75, number 75. Bids in front on EC at 650, 75. 650, 75, 75. 650, 75. All do and I have EC 650,000.
Hip number 629, property of Stonehaven Settings, dark.
Never mind.
I'm gonna lick your face and then turn it upside down so it matches the fish.
Oh my gosh, there was no fish.
The fish had the upside down face.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
This next one is the Charlatan filly. I had guessed that she was going to go somewhere between 100 and 150. Ironically, she actually really wasn't very popular at first at the sale, and so the owner had kind of thought like between 50 and 75 is what she was going to bring. I think she kind of got hidden a little bit because we had another filly that was kind of a really big standout as well in that group. But like at the very last minute, she got a wave of new people, and so she did end up selling as well.
110, 100, you never gonna D, and never gonna D, one in the back, 110, 100, 110, is that a bid? 110, 100, you never gonna D, 105, 110, 105, 10, 105, you never gonna D. And I tell you what, Eduardo's brought us a better filly than this. 110, I would think so, but how about 20? 120, now 20, 110, 20, 110, you never gonna 20, 20, you never gonna 10, 20, now 5, 125, hit 120 in front, 25, 125, 125, 125, 30, 125, you never gonna 30, where 125, 130, 125, you never gonna 30, you never gonna 30, now 40, 130, 40, at 130, 40, 40, 130, 40, where 130, 40, 130, now 40, 35, 40, 135, 40, 135, you're never gonna know we beat you, I'm sorry, 135, 40, 135, you're never 50, 140, 50, at 140, 150, 150, 150, 140, 50, 140, 150, 140, and here's one worth the candy, folks, 140, 150, 140, 50 all through, 140, and in the back then, 140,000.
Hip number 1148, consigned by Tailor Made Sales Agency, Age of the Big Colt by Spikestown, and a double code by...
No, I think I annoyed
Come on, 100.
He's so
Come on, 100. Okay. Come on, 100. 85.
It doesn't want to be sorted.
Oh, he's already sold. Unless I
I'm sorry, he's a steal for 80.
I don't remember what his stuffing is. I don't really like money.
Yeah. Sold.
The next kid is the Munnings. I had said he's probably going to bring somewhere around 100,000. This is another one, however, that had it was something super, super minor in the x-rays. It was kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I mean, you could do surgery if you want, but it also is fine if you just want to leave it in. Anyway, his reserve was only at 75, and so he did end up selling.
50, better get 50 down, look at 25, better get 10, 20, it's in here down 20, better bury down, look at 20, better get 20, better get try 20, down 30, down 30, down 30, try 40, better get down 50, 50, down to get down 60, back there, better get down 70, down to get down 80, down to get down 80, better get 90, right back, 80, 90, better bury down, look at 90, better get 90, better get 90, no sir, Jesse's first, better get 85, get in, 80 here, better get 5, no sir, buddy's up front, 80 down 5, take it down, 80 here, down to get 5, 5, better get 80, down to get 5, better get 5, better get 85, 80 here, down 5, better get 5, 5, down to get 5, better get 5, better get 5, 80 down to get 5, thank you. 80, better get 5, better 80 down to get 5, better count, Jesse, 80,000.
Hip 1225, consigned by Legacy Bloodstock 8.
The next filly is the City of Light filly, and listen, I always said I didn't really like City of Light, but this was a really pretty filly, and obviously he was a little bit popular at the time, well, he still kind of is. I had said she was going to go between like 50 to 75. Our original, like the reserve, I think ended up being about 100, so she has in fact sold as well.
810, would have been 1, would have been 10, would have been 10, 25. 825, would have been 35, would have been 1, 35, 50, would have been 150, would have been 160, Jesse, 160. Hit 160, down 75, 185, 185, 85, 2, on the back, 85, 2. Hit 200, would have been 210, DC, 210, would have been 2, would have been 210. Hit 210, 10, 10, would have been 2, would have been 10, would have been 10, 10, 10, would have been 2, would have been 210, 210, 10, 10, would have been 2, would have been 10, would have been 10, 25. Hit 210, 225, 35. Hit 235, would have been 235, would have been 235,000, 235, would have been 25, would have been 235, 50, would have been 250. Hit 35, 15, would have been 235, would have been 250, would have been 35, 40. Hit 40, would have been 240, that helped out 40, 50. Hit 40, 15, would have been 40, would have been 250, would have been 40, would have been 250, 250, 250, down 250, out Rod, down 250, would have been 250, down 45, down 50. Hit 245, 250, would have been 60. Hit 250, would have been said no, thank you. 260, would have been half mark, 250,000.
Hip number 1264, consigned by Gainesway H.
Come on, kid. Oh, come on. Oh, goodness.
This next kid is the Warfront. This is probably one of my favorites that we had in sale prep. I thought that he could really hit around 200. He was just, my type of horse. Ironically, the group I was with was all like, no, I think we're going to be lucky if we get 80. And so that was kind of right around where the reserve was, and well, he definitely sold.
30 pound liar, 20 pound, 30, 40, 50 now, 40 pound, 50, home again, 50 down, 60 pound, at 70 pound liar, home again, now he be here, watch in front, at 80 pound, out, watch, 80 pound, hey, get down, bulls, 80 pound, now 1, at 9, 110, 20, 30, 145, 150, 60, 160, 160, 170, out from 175, 160, track, 170, 180, how to get back there, man, 180, back at 190, 190, do it, 180, down to 200 car, at 92, 210, home again, 210, 200, 210, 210, to your out front, at 10, 20, 20 back there, at 210, 20, 30, 30 south, at 220, 30, 20, home again, now 30, 40, 240 down, and 50, 240, 250 down, 240 down, 50, go, 50 down, 251 in, at 240, 50, here we go, 240 down, 9, 240,000.
Hip number 1405.
Last but not least in this group, we had the Candy Ride filly. I had thought that she was probably going to bring right around 100-ish. But then this was another one of those cases. Something had popped up in the x-rays that they were like, yeah, you're probably going to need to remove that. But not only that, I just didn't really have anyone interested in her at all. So she, in fact, did not sell. She came back home. And I believe the owner is potentially going to be doing 2-year-old stuff with her.
25, 22, 22. Here's the line. 2, march in from both 25, 25, 22, 27, 27.
We're almost there, we're almost there.
March in both 7 down, 30 down, so 27, 30 down. One again, sure, at 27 in the middle mark, 30,000. All good. 30, 30 down, 30 down, 30 down, mark 27,000.
All right.
Popping in really quick while I'm editing, because like I said, I noticed that I was missing footage, and I was like, My talking videos are gone. Who knows? Anyway, I definitely didn't get as much video footage of like in the barn in general with the last two groups, just because, listen, so the way it's set up is when we move in, so like we'll move in, let the horses settle for a day, and the first two books we show for like 2-3 days, so we have an extra day of showing, and then we sell. The later books we move in, show, sell, so it's like boom boom boom. The issue that I ran into is the day my horses sold in one barn was the exact same day that I was moving horses into the other barn. And so I ended up doing a lot of back and forth, making sure the horses were clean, headed to the ring. They had all their what they were supposed to have. And then also running and checking the other horses in the other barn, make sure that they were fine. I was just doing a lot of back and forth, and I failed on actually getting more footage. I did better in November, hopefully. Anyways, that is my quick little like check-in on the fact that I'm sorry, there was footage missing, and I failed partly on doing what I was planning to do. It's fine. I'll get better next year.
Signed by Woods Edge Farm Agent, 8 million by Twirling Candy, and Haynes Fest by Haynes Field. By Twirling Candy, sire of that nice filly Kilwin, the 2-year-old filly who won the $1 million untappable stakes just a few weeks back. And Kentucky now second into that first man, who was a 7-time winner.
That's 7:30, coming 30, now 30, 2, now fluttering down 9,
Oh, goodness. Good baby. Watch your backs, people. Watch your back. Watch your back! Can we not stop in the middle of the thing? Like, have common sense.
Use the sidewalk? Yeah, I should. Did you hear her?
This was the practical joke colt. I said he was probably going to sell anywhere between like 35 to 60. Honestly, I can't remember. I think the owners either put like a 40 or 45 reserve on him. We had a little rough with this colt. Listen, you obviously saw in the back ring, he handled himself great. He was very well behaved, very calm. The very first day of showing, however, was not like that at all. It took us a while to kind of get him to calm down and settle. But unfortunately, you kind of get like a one chance to make an impression when you are toward the end of these books. And so he didn't really make the best first impression on a lot of people. That being said, this was a good experience for him. He's one that I definitely think needed this trip off the farm to just kind of get some stuff, like, just get a feel of how life is in general. Anyway, he actually did not sell. I know I said 40 to 45. I lied. Apparently it was 50. But the owners are actually going to do 2-year-old stuff with him, so it's fine.
50, one again. That's 7, 50. Here we get 50 go down, 50 hold on time. 47, $50,000, 47, 50 high hip. Jesse, 47,000.
Hip 2052, consigned by.
I don't want to bring him farther. Let me rephrase that. He's already started under saddle. I don't want to have to break him more.
That's when you long line and drive for like a month.
He has been.
Oh God. Oh God.
We're already there.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want to break him.
Hold back. Hold back. Wait. Okay, you're good. There's our father.
He's so cute whenever the horse does.
Yeah. I typically send him a text.
This is the Liam's Matt filly. I had thought she was going to sell right around the 50 to 65 mark. At this stage of the sale, we started realizing that the price had definitely dropped significantly more than we were kind of expecting. And so we kind of started expecting to lower our expectations on what exactly to expect from these horses. That being said, she did sell. So I guess I really didn't have to lower my expectations too much because I was still correct.
Hit 25, 30 down, fine, 35. Hit it back now. 30, 35, 30 down, fine, down, 40. 35 here in the vertical, 40 in the vertical, pound, 40 now, fine, 45, 45 now, 50. Hit 45, 50, hot it back now. 45, 50, 45 here in the vertical, 50, 50 in the vertical, 50 in the vertical, 45, 50 where 45 need more here, men. 55 out in front now, 55. Hit 50, get 5, 55, 50,000, 5, 50,000 here in the vertical, pound, Liam's a map for this. 50, 55, 50,000 here in the vertical, pound, the vertical, 50 now, 55. Who else wants to play? 55, 50 down, 55, 50 and 5 on through, and I have in the back 50,000.
Hip 2228, consigned by Woods Edge.
Next.
This is the game winner filly. I originally thought she was going to go for around 25, and I was also kind of being realistic because little background story. Her owner was going through a really nasty divorce, and so he was kind of under the impression he was going to have to sell everything because of the lawyers and all that crap. Ironically, right before the sale, he was like, "Hey, guess what? It's all finalized. Put a little bit of a higher reserve on her so that, you know, if she sells, she sells. But if not, then awesome. I'm going to have more racehorses again." So with that mentality, she ended up not selling. But the owner is actually really excited to have racehorses again.
Give me 7 here, but to get 30, but out again. Mike now, Rogers in at 27, 30 here, but to get 30, 30, but to get 30 down higher. That's 7 down, 30 here, but to get one back in. What a good looking filly, boys. 27's up front and both out. 30 down, one back in. 27 here, but to get 30, but to get 30, but to get 30. Thank you, Roger. 27,000.
Hip number 28.
Yo ese cabrón, Cirilo es un clavo que ya no está el domingo.
Pin 2885, consigned by Lane's End agent, Bay Colt by Tiz the Law out of High.
This is my first personal horse going through the ring for this sale. This is my Golden Sense. I thought he was going to bring somewhere between the realm of 15 to 20,000. The main question we had with this horse is he essentially has a cousin who, at this point, we were all pretty much thinking the same thing, that this horse is a potential for the Kentucky Derby. That horse's trainer had actually stopped by and talked to us a couple times. So that was kind of like the main selling point potential. We were hoping he was going to win his first race before the sale, but that ended up not happening. Regardless, it doesn't matter. That horse is actually no longer going to be aimed for the Kentucky Derby. They think he's going to be a better miler, but they do think that that horse is going to be like a really freak horse. So we're still excited to see him. Anyway, this kid did end up selling, so it was a positive either way.
A bit up front, both 2 now, 525. 2, hill 5 here, 2, 5, 2, 5, 25, 1, 2, 7. At 20, you're out, boys, 25 back, 27 now. At 25, 27, race sequel, boys, are you done? At 5, 5, 7 here, but to get 5, but you want to get 6 up there? 25 bitten back, printer, 26 is all. 25, you said no. 25 here, but to get 6 here, but to get 5 in the back. 25,000.
Hip 2892, consigned by...
The last filly in this group of 3 was the McLean's Music filly. I thought she was going to bring somewhere between 50 and 75,000. The owner was like, I think she'll bring around 40, 45. And I told him, I looked at him, I was like, boy, buckle up. You're about to be pleasantly surprised because she's definitely been everyone's favorite out of the 3 we brought for this group. There was supposed to be another kid who I scratched, and I'll talk about here in a moment. But this filly did end up selling as well.
30, 87 down 30, but it appeared both down the back. 32, head the bends out 5, hand to get him to get him 2 5, 35, but it appeared down to get him 7, but to get him 7 here, down to get him 7 here. 8 money's up front, 37 back there, 35, 37, Honda no done, hand to get him 7 here, down to get him 7, 35, 37 all through, down 40, but it appeared down to get him down 2, 840 here down 2, hand to get him 2, 2 down to get him 2 down there, but it final there down to get him 5, 845,000 down to get him 5 and 5 and 5 and 45, but it appeared down 7, hand to get him 7, 847 down to get him 7 down 50, down to get him 50, but to get 50, but to get 50 down to get him 50 down 2, 850 here down 2, down to get him 2, 2 down to get him 2 down 5, 855,000 down to get him 5, but then 60 down to get him 60, 860 down 5, but again to get him 60 down 5, but then 5 here down, but then 5 now, 860 here down 5, but then 5 up here down to get him 5 up here down to get him 5, but then 5 all through, 60 but to get 5, thank you, 60 but to get 5, but a cam tie, right side, 60,000.
Hip number 3156, consigned by Hill.
I can close the gate. Or that works too.
Quite literally, the very first horse through the ring that day was one of our gift box fillies. Originally, I thought she was going to bring around 20, but like I said, we definitely had to like slash our expectations in half. That being said, I loved this filly. She was a little small, yes, but she was just built like a freight train. And she was just also a little mean, and I loved it. Loved her so much that I actually had the opportunity to own her mom, and I said yes, so I am now the owner of her mom. But we can get in more details about that later. Anyway, like I said, we slashed our expectations in half. That being said, she did sell. And honestly, to the guy who got her, have fun. She's going to be fast as hell.
9 here, never gonna 10, never gonna 10, never gonna 9, yacht back men, 9 10, 9,010, 9 10, 9 here, never gonna 10, never 11, out in front, now 10, now 11, 10,000 here, never gonna 11, never 11, 10, 11, 10,000, 11,000, 10,000, 11, 10,000 here, never gonna 11, never Kevin said no, thank you, and I have in the back 10,000.
Hip number 3638, consigned. Hip number 3734, consigned by Local Lake Rescue Farm Agent, available by High Standards, Allen Lake High, and by High Standards. First drop for that $2 million winner, a two-time winning first dam, and the first dam is the dam of a winning 3-year-old now.
You're going to 10, we got 10, we get 9, we get 3, 2, 3, that's 3, 3, down 3, down 5, 3, 1, that's 2, down 3, 5, 3, 5, that's 3, down 5, 5, 3, got to go to the 5, 4 then, that 3, 4, 5, 7, that's 7, here's the difference for it, down 10, what a good lad, that's 10, 10, 10, 12, that's 10, 12 here, 12, 12, down 5, that's 10, 12, 12, 1, is in back at 10, 11 off, 10 here, 11, 11, searching, 22, 25, 17, 27 now, 700, 3, 5, 3, hold it, now 3, 3 for it, that's in the 3, hold on line, 27, 3, 35, that's 3, down 5 here, 35, down 4, that's 35, here,
The next kid is an Armin Mule. I thought he was going to sell for about 25, and I quite literally hit it right on the nose. With this kid, we actually were kind of attempting to also kind of keep him for racing for ourselves as well. And we had gone back and forth on whether or not we thought 20 or 25 was going to be the reserve for him. And we ended up landing on 24. We were like, you know what? If someone takes him for 25, then congrats to them. But if he comes home, that's fine too. Then, well, he didn't come home. He did sell as well.
17, 20, 2, 2, 5. Home Mike first. Both 2, 5. Everybody looking here. Out again. Both 2, 5. 22, 25 here. But to get 2. But to get 5 on 5 on 5. 2, 5. All lines out as well. 22, 5. Got 3 right 4. 23 here. But to get 4. But to get down 5. That 4 or 5 almost worked. Got 24 on Mikey. 25 all. 4 here. But to get 5 on 5 to 5. 25. That 4 or 5 here. But to get 3. But to get down 7 here. But out again in front. Boys on lines out as well. 25. Want to get 6 up there. 25. 26 on 9. Are you done? 25 here. Bids in back. Ben. 25. 26 in. 6 in. 6 in the back. 25,000.
Hips 37.45, 30.
These two were actually pretty close together because there was a lot of scratches. But this is the Mendelssohn filly. She was one where she was all there physically, but she was just really small. And in all honesty, I didn't really think she looked that fast. But I thought the Mendelssohn part was gonna encourage buyers a little bit. But then obviously I had to lower my expectations. I thought she was gonna sell for around 20, like 15 to 20 originally. And then we had to lower our expectations, so I thought it would be closer to 10. That being said, she did in fact sell as well.
At 4, 5 here, but you get back mid down 6 here, but you get 6 down 4. At 5 down 6 and 7 here, but you get 2. Give me 7, but 7 down now. At 7 down dollar here, but you get 65. 6 and $500 come a 5, bid the 5, 65, hold on the front. 6 and back, 4, 5, 7. 7 down now. 7 here, but you get 7, bid 7 here, 5 and 7. At 507 here, but you get 3, but you can try again. Are you done? $6,500 come a 7, 7 down dollar in the now 5. Now 75, bids are back. 7, 10, 5. 70. But you get 3, but you get 5, 1, 5, bid the 5, 7, 5. 70, but you said no, and back 7,000.
Hip 37.55, consigned by Hunter Valley Farm Agent. Bay filly by Silver.
Next was the other gift box filly. I thought she was going to bring around 10, and I wasn't too far off. So you know what? I think overall my guesses for the most part were pretty solid. Sure, there were a few outliers, but like in my defense, X-ray stuff. And then we had to lower our expectations for this group. But realistically, my guesses were pretty spot on. Kind of. Anyway, she did sell as well.
But you get 3, but you get 4, come forward, just 4, full down there. At 4, 5 here, but you get 5, get 5, bid 5, out and back, then 5 down there. At 6 here, but you get out fun, both 6 and now. At 5, 6 here, but you get 5, 55, 55, all done, tie, 55, 1 do it. At 5,500 here, but you get help yourself in 6 now. 5,500, 6 down 5. At 500 here, but you get 5 on 5, we're out and back, then 5. Now 7 here, but you get 2, but you get 7, bid 7, now 7. At 500 here, but you get 5, 5, now 75. Out and back then on the front. 7-5. Now 8 here, but you get 2, but you get 8 here now 5. 85 hot again, boys. 8 10 5. 8 here, but you get 2. Said no. 85, 85, 85. Just see 8,000.
Hip 39.38, consigned by Eaton Sales Agent. Dark Bayer.
By Animal Kingdom. First run of the Sun Candy Ride Rock Your World Great One Santa and the Derby winner. The really putting the ring itself with no reserve, and you got a new black tie winner.
And that last filly that we were taking to the ring that didn't have the sale video at the end was the one that like this thing was glitching. And she was not the only horse it glitched on. It was like glitching for several horses. It actually fixed right toward the end of hers. And I was just like, never mind. And I didn't want to put it up because it was like low-key almost seizure inducing because it would flash green, white, and black. It was like, and it like kept looping. And I was just like, never mind. I was like, I'll just tell you if she sold or how she sold. But yeah, so she actually, when I was heading up to the ring, I was a little worried. I was like, honestly, she might not sell at all because there was just nobody there. It was empty, empty, empty. Everyone had kind of been like, yeah, we got all the horses we need. We're leaving now. And so I was kind of like in the back of my mind being like, if I have to bring her home, because I was like mentally preparing, I was like, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do the 30, 60 days on her, kick her out, and I'm not even going to touch her as a 2-year-old. Like, she's just not a 2-year-old type horse. We'll just reevaluate her as a 3-year-old, and she can be my horse for that year instead of keeping one of the babies or my now yearlings, keeping one of those kids. So I was like, she can just be my racehorse. So I was over here like trying to like go through the logistics of it and like thinking, I was like, what am I gonna do? This is how I'm gonna do it, blah blah blah. And then she did end up selling anyway. And she sold for like 4,000 or 5,000, something like that. And so I was like, okay, never mind. I don't have my backup plan, not needed. But yeah, overall, like, it was definitely, besides that last part, the last book, that were ever like, we suddenly had our expectations here, we dropped them to here. Like, the prices slashed so quickly. It's fine. It is what it is. Like, we're used to it. Like, we know this stuff happens, and we were just prepared for it, And but the rest of the sale went great. The horses that didn't sell, there's not really, the only one that, like, the owner was kind of like, ugh, I guess I have another racehorse, was the Candy Ride filly. And I was just like, well, you needed one. He goes, no, I didn't. I'm like, yes, you did. And but everyone else is pretty chill with it. They're like, yeah, cool, got another racehorse, for the ones that we didn't sell. But everyone was pretty satisfied overall with how their kids sold. So overall, good sale. Now there are two horses that I introduced you all to that we didn't end up taking to the sale because we scratched them before we actually went to the sale. And that was a Nyquist filly and an Army Mule colt. So the Nyquist filly, this headphones drive me nuts. I should probably just take it out, but at this point, the Nyquist filly, she is one beautiful profile, but she had kind of a wonky wheel where it would just hook in really bad, and she walked a little weird, right? And so, ironically, so we knew that, like, it was kind of going to be hard to sell her in general, and our chiropractor, because all these kids, get body work and everything, our chiropractor fell in love with her. He's like, I freaking love this filly, and he was like, kept watching her. He goes, you know what? He goes, how much do they want for her? And I'll buy her privately if they're okay with it. And they were okay with it. So they did end up buying her privately. So the Nyquist actually sold to our chiropractor. That's his favorite thing. I'd say he cracks me up because he buys so many, like, misfit horses. Like, he's the type of guy, he'll buy horses, like, with one eye, that are sway back, that are crooked, and he does a dang good job with them. Like, he has really good luck. So anyway, so she went over to our chiropractor and living her best life over there. The Army Mule. So I talked a little bit about it before. I was taking 3 personal horses this year through the sale. I was taking my Tom Stay Tall filly, my Golden Sense colt, and my Army Mule colt. Well, the original game plan was that, like, my Army Mule colt, I was like, he was my top choice. If I was going to keep a racehorse from the bunch, it was going to be him. And I thought I was probably going to get anywhere between, like, and I was trying not to be greedy. My dad was being greedy, okay? I was over here like 45 to 50 is kind of what I think he's going to fall between. My dad over here was like, this is a $75,000, $100,000 horse. And I was like, you're getting your hopes up a little high, bring them down a smidge. And anyway, so we did x-rays. And I talked about x-rays a bit in the last one. And here's the thing, where we're selling horses, like, we have to put everything there, right? Because obviously we can get in trouble if a vet goes in there and sees something that wasn't on the report, right? And so even if it doesn't mean anything, even if it's just like a cosmetic thing, or if it's just there, but it's never ever going to affect anything, like, we still have to put it down, right? And so this kid, we did x-rays, and I blame my vet first off, because every time my vet would say, man, this is a beautiful horse, something would pop up in the x-rays, and I was like, you need to stop saying that this is a beautiful horse. He goes, I was like, no, you're jinxing it. He goes, that's not how this works. I'm like, it absolutely is how this works. Anyway, so he even said, he was like, man, he was one of the first horses we did in my group. He's like, this horse is beautiful. He goes, this is yours? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, this is beautiful. I was like, stop talking. You're gonna jinx me. And sure enough, he jinxed me. So when we did his x-rays, there was just a little something here, a little something here, a little something here, a little something here. And when I looked at it, I was like, I don't know what half of these words mean, which is very unusual because I've been doing this for so long. And granted, a lot of the vets will come up with new terms and new things to put in there. But I was like, looking at this, I was like, I don't know what half of this stuff is. And so obviously our vet called us and he's like, hey, I talked to the guy who read the x-rays, and this is what he says. He goes, there is literally nothing that needs surgery. Literally everything you're looking at is just growing baby things. He goes, that's all it is. He goes, you don't have to worry about it. It's never gonna be a problem. It will literally be gone here in a couple months. It's just, and I was like, okay, cool, fine. I was like, what does that mean though, sale wise? He goes, here's the thing. No one's gonna freaking understand half this shit. People are gonna look at the page and look at that and be like, And I was like, yeah. He goes, I would just scratch him from the sale if I were you. He goes, I wouldn't bother taking him because he goes, I know what your dad was thinking price wise, and I know what you were thinking price wise. He goes, I'm thinking if you take this horse to the sale with exercises like this, it's going to sell for like 20 or 25. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I would rather just keep him at that price. And so we talked about it, and we were like, you know what? Screw it. We'll just scratch him for the sale and keep him as my racehorse. And so that he is going to be my racehorse for next year, or So he actually, because it is January, end of January at this point. He already has his like 45 days. He got some time under saddle, and he's been kicked out into a field, and he's just gonna vibe until probably late March, April, and then we'll kind of reevaluate him and figure out whether or not we're gonna go ahead and send him to kind of get some baby stuff done, like some baby miles, or if we're just gonna hold on to him for a little bit longer and reevaluate him in the fall, and maybe send him next winter or whatever to the racetrack. So that was kind of how it was. My personal horses, obviously, kept one, didn't end up taking him to the sale. The Golden Cent sold for a little bit. He kind of broke me even a little bit. Actually, he kind of paid a little bit extra than what I had invested into him. So I made a little bit of money off of him. And then I lost money on the Tom Stata. But it's all okay. It's fine. Because at the same time, I also had racehorses doing racehorse things. And so one of my racehorses came in clutch and earned me a little bit of extra money. And I was like, okay, it's fine. It's fine. We got it all covered. So yeah. And I was being optimistic because I was taking one of my personal horses to the November sale. And I was like, maybe I'll make it up there. We'll talk about November sale. Anyway, that's kind of all I've got for now. I know this was a long, rambly rant at this end stage. So overall, I'm hoping, because I'm obviously editing this. This was my first kind of go around with the sale stuff. The November sale video should be much better, much more vlog type, which was what I was kind of hoping for to begin with. And hopefully now that I kind of got the hang of it and kind of understand what is going to work best filming wise, future sale stuff should be a lot better. Anyway, that's all I got pretty much. Overall, the September sale was a success. Even though I got a racehorse, I got my favorite racehorse. It's fine. But yeah, so hopefully I can play catch up and get you all the November sale stuff done, talk about my matings, and we can keep trucking on with foaling season. So until next time.